In the heart where crossroads meet, where past and future gently greet, a land unfolds, both strange and fair, with stories whispered through the air. Cobblestones hum with echoes old, a patchwork woven, bright and bold, where towers rise and markets hum, and every street sings where it's from. Through winding ways and quiet bends, a place where mystery never ends, where languages mix, cultures blend, and every turn's a twist, a trend. History lives in every stone, a place unique, all on its own. Where statues stand, both grand and small, and tiny wonders charm us all. With waffles warm and beers that cheer, odd and beautiful, far and near. A stage for all, a place to see. The heart of Europe beats so free. From city lights to quiet space, this land reveals a hidden grace. Here we gather, bold and true. In Belgium's soul, we start anew.
Hello everyone and welcome to the 2025 World Cup group draw live stream. For those who don't know me, my name is Jamie. I'm the Director of Membership and Gameplay at the IQA, and I'm looking after World Cup this year with the wonderful committee who's working with me. We'll be welcoming 31 teams to Brussels and to Bitse this July, which is the biggest event the IQA has ever hosted. And so that is extremely overwhelming, but also extremely exciting to be welcoming so many people to Belgium this July. And we'll be also welcoming 3 new teams to the IQA events, Team Latam, Team Philippines, and Basque Country as well. So we're very excited to not only welcome back people who have been coming to every World Cup we've had, but also the new folks as well. I'd also just like to start this live stream with an acknowledgement of country. For those who don't know what that is, acknowledgements of country is traditional practice for Australian formal proceedings, and it's a way that Australians can acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land in Australia. So I'd just like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which I am streaming from today. That is the Ngunnawal, Ngunnawal and Ngambri peoples. They're the first owners and First Nations of the Canberra region, which is where I am. And I'd like to pay my respect to their elders past, present and emerging, as well as acknowledge their continued connection to the land, waters and sky. I'd like to acknowledge that their sovereignty was never ceded, and they were a strong group of communities, just like Quadball are as well. I'd also like to acknowledge any traditional custodians or First Nations that are watching the stream today, as well as any other Indigenous people watching the stream for all across the world. Australia certainly is not the only country that has Indigenous populations. I'd just like to acknowledge anyone else who happens to be watching the live stream as well today. Okay, and before we get into the draw, I also just wanted to do a brief overview of the gameplay format. So we're starting with pool play, like most tournaments. So we'll have pools from A to G for this tournament. Pools A to C will have 5 teams, and they will play a round robin. And then pools D to G will have a cross pool round robin with 4 teams in each pool. The pool play will then rank teams from 1 to 31, and they will enter a round of 30. With the team ranked first automatically going into the round of 16. After the round of 30, the top 16 teams will go into the round of 16 and then the championship bracket, and the bottom 16 will play a round of consolation matches. All right, so let's get into the exciting portion of the evening. So we'll start with drawing from Pod 1 today. So Pod 1 is Belgium, Germany, and the United States. And I'll be starting to draw from Pool A. So all 3 teams are in this jar here, picking one out. And we have Germany going into Pool A. Drawing again from the jar for Pool B. Stuck together. And then we have Belgium going into Pool B. And then that leaves the United States going into Pool C. And that is pod 1 done. Moving on to pod 2. So pod 2 has the teams Australia, England, France, and Italy. So same process, this time pulling for Pool D. We have England going into Pool D. Drawing again for Pool E. We have Australia going into Pool E. Next one, Pool F. Pool F, we have Italy. And lastly, for Pool G, we have France. So that is pod 2 done. And we're now moving on to pod 3. So pod 3 has the teams African nations, Austria, Canada, India, Norway, Spain, and Turkey. So again, pulling from jar. We have African nations going into Pool A. So now drawing for Pool B. We have Spain going into Pool B. Now drawing for Pool C. We have India going into Pool C. Now we are drawing for Pool D. So for Pool D, we have Austria. And now pulling for Pool E. We have Canada going into Pool E. Now Pool F. We have Norway going into Pool F. And then that leaves Turkey going into Pool G. Now we'll just do a quick recap of where all the pools are at the moment. So give me 1 second to pull it up because I cannot remember what I've just done. All right, in Pool A, we have Germany and African nations. In Pool B, we have Belgium and Spain. In Pool C, we have the US and India. Pool D, we have England and Austria. Pool E, we have Australia and Canada. Pool F, we have Italy and Norway, Turkey. Okay, almost done. We've got 2 more pods left. So moving on to pod 4 now. In pod 4, we have Brazil, Japan, Mexico, the Netherlands, Poland, Slovenia, and Wales. So again, pulling from here, and we'll be pulling for Pool A. In Pool A, we have the Netherlands. Now pulling for Pool B. We have Mexico for Pool B. Now for Pool C. In Pool C, we have Slovenia. And now for Pool D. For Pool D, we have Poland. Now for Pool E. We have Wales in Pool E. And now for Pool F, we have Japan. Japan in Pool F. And then lastly, for Pool G, we have Brazil. All right, and so that is now Pool F. Moving on now to the unseeded. On the website, the unseeded is listed as seed 5, and that's just to make things easier on the website in the background. But for the unseeded groups, we have Basque Country, Catalonia, Czechia, Hong Kong, Quadball Ireland, Team Latam, Philippines, Scotland, Switzerland, and Vietnam. All right. Again, in another jar, all the teams. We'll start with Pool A. All right, we have Ireland for Pool A. Pulling for Pool B. For Pool B, we have Hong Kong. Now for Pool C. For Pool C, we have Switzerland. In Pool D now, we're drawing Team Latam. And now in Pool E, we're drawing Euskadi. Basque Country, sorry. And now going for F. Pretty confident. All right. We have the Philippines going into Pool F. Now Pool G. We have Czechia. All right, coming back to the beginning now. In Pool A. In Pool A, we have Vietnam. Pool B, we've got Catalonia. And finally, for Pool C, we have Scotland. Okay. All right, that is all the teams from the seas now drawn into their pools. I will just quickly update my spreadsheet. All right, so now a recap and where everyone is sitting for the World Cup. We have in Pool A, Germany, African nations, the Netherlands, Quadball Ireland, and Vietnam. In Pool B, we have Belgium, Spain, Mexico, Hong Kong, and Catalonia. In Pool C, we have the US, India, Slovenia, Czech Republic, and Scotland. In Pool D, we have England. Sorry, I misspoke for Pool C, so I'll just repeat that one again for you. So in Pool C, we have the US, India, Slovenia, Switzerland, not Czech, and Scotland. In Pool D, we have England, Austria, Poland, and Latam. Pool E, we have Australia, Canada, Wales, and Basque Country. Pool F, we have Italy, Norway, Japan, and the Philippines. And in Pool G, we have France, Turkey, Brazil, and now Czech. All right, thank you everyone for joining us for the live stream today. We're really looking forward to welcoming all the players, volunteers, officials, and spectators at World Cup for the biggest World Cup we have ever hosted. Good luck, teams and everyone else, with your preparations for World Cup, and we'll be welcoming you to Belgium in just over a month. Thanks, everyone.